Now let's begin the conversation. Amidst the rising economic hardship in Nigeria, the conversation on the need for reduction in the cost of governance has become more imperative. In Ekiti State, the People's Democratic Party PDP has raised concerns over the proposed trip by members of the State House of Assembly for a retreat in Canada. Spokesperson for the PDP Caretaker Committee in the state, Jackson Adebayo, described the proposed trip as an unnecessary expenditure which will negatively impact the economic condition of the state. Now responding to the claims, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Adeoye Aribasoye, explained that the trip to Canada by some lawmakers is self-sponsored. Let's hear from the Speaker.
Build capacity. It's good to build capacity, so look for opportunity to go out there, and it's very, very important.
Now let's begin the conversation. BK, I'll start with you. Looking at the situation in Ekiti State, the issues raised by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) about the planned trip by the lawmakers. How credible are these issues, despite the explanation by the Ekiti State government?
Yes, I listened to the Commissioner for Information in Ekiti State, Ogbeni Olatunbosu. And what he said is what I would have said in a situation like this. If you are insisting that this is self-sponsored, I mean that it is sponsored by the state government, if you are insisting that the people's funds will be used for a jamboree, provide the evidence that government has set aside money for these people to go on this jamboree.
Not just saying it.
Don't just come out. I once read on one of the notorious media outlets in our country that before the before the 2015 election, that President Jonathan, told PDP state governors to release 500 million each to prosecute the election. The 2015 election. People make claims that if they tell them to come and defend, they will be tongue-tied. Where is the evidence? Because the truth is, even some of us here who are not politicians, we've been victims of fake news. We've been victims of fake news. I've heard people say, Babajide took money from some person, somebody that I had never met. And my boss, Barry Nonuga, when we were in the news, some people wrote on Sahara Reporters that I took money to do a story. He now said, thank God at that time I was not on TV. He said, okay, Babajide took money from you. So because Babajide, you didn't give him money, he wrote a story against you. Can you describe him? Now say, he's tall, he's fairly thin. My boss just said, you are a very stupid person. Babajide is not tall. He had not seen me before. And he claimed that we were together. I asked for money. Because he didn't give me money, I went on to abuse him. These things happen. Naturally, when you hear that they are embarking on this sort of trip, you think, Canada, it's going to cost a lot of money. Government must have released money for it. But people who are real knowledge hunters, who know the value of looking for knowledge, people who take to heart the admonition by the Holy Prophet Muhammad that you must look for knowledge even if you have to go as far as China. They know that whatever you spend to acquire knowledge is not a waste. Sure. And knowledge obtained and not shared is a waste. So they need to provide the evidence. Don't just say that, bring the evidence. Bring the evidence, bring the proof, bring the data, just as Olatunbosun said. I have nothing to say on this because fake news now rules our country. Before you read 3 stories, that you can say all these 3 stories are correct. you do like this. It's fake news all the time. I was in Abuja when they claimed that Dangote, that marketers had begun to lift petrol from Dangote. Today, are they not quarreling? So, it's not everything that we read in newspapers that we must believe. And those who say make these allegations, we must challenge them to provide.
He who alleges.
Yes, it's not enough to just make. And that's what Latobo was describing this guy as a fake news purveyor and an attention seeker. Prove him wrong by providing the evidence. It's as simple as that. It's not something for us to argue at length about.
Provide the evidence. What are your thoughts on that one?
You know, I'm from Ekiti State.
Okay.
And I have a brother who is a serving honorable member. His name is Hakim Jamil. So when I just woke up that day last week and I started seeing people sending me a lot of stuff. Can you see what the assemblymen in Ekiti are doing? I didn't even call my brother. Got the speaker too. I know him like a brother. Right Honorable Adeoye. So I called speaker. I said, Speaker, they said people are going to Canada. They say, Say, ask Egon now. Say, this thing, we are using our money to sponsor ourselves. Say, so is it a crime? So, and I'm happy the speaker said it here. And if you listen to this tape, it was referred, this statement must have been made like probably September or October, because he said this trip, they will go on this trip in November, middle of November. And it's self-sponsored. He said it. But you know, I'm not surprised. I have been part of the politicking in Ekiti State, and I know what the PDP could do. And don't forget, things like more of this will come up because we are approaching 2026, which is the time for election. So a lot of stones, a lot of falsehood, a lot of fake news will still come from them. This is the same assembly where the wives of, the spouses of the assembly members, they have been, doing a lot of empowerment for farmers. Their wives, not even the honorable members. The honorable members are doing that. The wives are doing empowerment. So those empowerments too, were they money from the state coffers? As a matter of fact, the state, all assemblies are now autonomous. They have their own budget. Yes. And who says they can't even sponsor themselves on training? Yes. When military men go on training abroad, why don't we complain? When immigration men go on training abroad, why don't we complain?
All right, Majid, we have joining us via Zoom for more discussion on this issue is the chairman of Ekiti State House of Assembly Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Babatunde Oke, who is also the member representing Ikere Constituency 1 of the State House of Assembly. Thank you so much for joining us, Honorable.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
All right, let's begin this conversation. Now, the issues raised by the People's Democratic Party talking about the planned trip by the lawmakers. You want to tell us about it and also how credible are these issues? Let's have your thoughts on that.
All right, thank you so much for having me. The uninformed and ways of people pushing out information on social media platform has been the bane of Nigerian governance. What I'm trying to say is that people need to be responsible. If you want to be an opposition, you need to be responsible. You need to carry out due diligence before you push out narrative on social media. And the letter that has caused uproar for this now, of course, emanated from the External Assembly. But I expect people who I believe are well informed to ask questions. And to my surprise, they are the one pushing narratives to cause issues for the legislative arm of government in Ekiti State. This program was introduced to members. And of course, individual members registered to be part of the program. And I can assure you that I am not even part of the people that registered for the program because I have other priorities at this time. So members came to the programs, of course, to equip themselves for it is a retreat, like an NC program out there. And at the session of the Senate Assembly, one of the key focus of the Senate Assembly is legislative capacity building. And the leadership of the House has been doing a lot to ensure that members are key into opportunities like this. Of course, just within 1 year, the leadership of the House has partnered with private organizations to organize retreats, as they call those one streams. One of these retreats, the U.S. ambassador to Nigeria was in part of the retreat, and that will speak to our agenda on legislative capacity building. And when this program came on board, the leadership of the House also advised members who are interested, who have financial means to register for the program. I can show you, I can say it authoritatively, that this program is self-funded. I asked someone this morning that if you think that government is funding this program, you think that not going to be part of the program? It's not possible for the government to want to sponsor parts of lawmakers and leaving the rest behind. The capacity building, if it is government funded, is going to be for all members. All of us are going to be part of the program. So this is more or less like individual registering for educational programs to upgrade. As I'm speaking to you now, just recently I applied for my MLA to also upgrade myself. So the members are looking for opportunities to upgrade themselves so that the legislative business that we have the mandate will perform it excellently. Because from this side of the world, we view legislative business as something that is just minimal. But I can tell you, the legislative of government is very critical to development. And in the Legislative Assembly, we have been collaborating with the government. We have been able to achieve a lot. I can go on and on to tell you that just recently we were given an award as best state assembly in Nigeria on ICT integration. That speaks volume. That shows the kind of leadership that the Senate Assembly possesses and the kind of members that are operating in the House. We are very proactive. And of course, the ICT e-Parliament is part of our legislative agenda also. Just like the legislative capacity building, e-Parliament, we have tracking of bills and motions. So whatever we are doing is in line with the agenda that we have set when we started the Senate Assembly. So for people to be saying that government is funding this is nothing. It's a lie. It's a lie. And I can tell you that this is a predetermined action to bring down the State House of Assembly. But I can assure you that members have been making sacrifices, even in the budget. There is a provision for training, for training. But because we understand the realities on ground, and so the leadership of the House took it upon themselves to look for partners to sponsor us for retreats, and that's what we have been doing, making sure that we don't place financial pressure on the government. As I speak to you now, we have been able to achieve a lot because we are developing ourselves. Members are looking for opportunities to upgrade themselves. There's no end to acquisition of knowledge. So I'm surprised when people are saying, I really get it. So we need to get more knowledge so that we'll be able to formulate policies to perform our way of checks and balances on the executive, and that's what we have been doing.
Okay. All right. BK, do you want to add?
Yes, I think that a properly trained legislator is a fantastic asset, and that's why when these legislators do not last in the National Assembly, it bothers us because it takes a long time to get a lawmaker to be grounded in the rules of the House, to be grounded in the lawmaking process. It takes time. So when you have someone who is properly trained abroad, trained at home, you know, is a very good asset. That person is a very good asset, and it can also help new lawmakers to become grounded in what they do. So knowledge hunting, to me, is something that we should all take seriously. Whether you are a journalist or a businessman, we've seen businessmen who went abroad, who went to Harvard Business School just to hone their skills because they know that it will help them going forward. So nobody should be unhappy to see people go to acquire knowledge. And in this case, just as he has said, it is not even everybody who is going.
Just
those who are interested,
exactly.
They applied.
He said he is not even going.
Who are going. He is not even part of. So if government was sponsoring it,
everybody,
why would the government leave some people behind? No government would do that now. Even if some of them are not from the ruling party, the government will sponsor everybody.
Okay.
So this argument does not hold water. It is the challenge that Olatunbosun dropped. I also stand by it. Let who was alleged provide evidence to support the claim that he has made. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. All right, we need to go to our next conversation, but we want to say thank you to the chairman, Ekiti State House of Assembly Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Honorable Babatunde Oke. Thank you so much.